There we go. That should be us going live. I'm not going to really worry if people come in or wait for anything like that. Once we are going, I'll put out a few tweets and stuff. Other than that, so welcome to episode 1 of Pedal Builder Spotlight, which I used to call them, or interviews. And we have our first victim, dare I say, Jose from Thermion, yeah?
Sure,
Thermion. So literally just found out about the guy, and he came back to me, and we did a quick test on these live streams, and working out fine. So we decided to go for it. Jose, I don't know where to start. I actually want to start with quickly showing the guys just the website and all your different social media channels. It's important that the guys understand that all the information will be added to the description of this video after the fact. So if you come back a day or so later, you know, all the kind of additional information and links and stuff like that will be added to the description in the YouTube videos. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. This is going to start looking really funky in a minute. Okay, so what we found is Thermion has a really nice presence online. They have a really nice website.
Thank you.
Happening here. No, it is a really nice website. And I must admit, my eyes fell first on the gasoline. That looked like a really interesting, I guess, pedal / full preamp.
So far is the best-selling one we have, and the one that was released first. That's why it's a little different. It's a little like early concept for us.
But it's called the gasoline, and it's described as an American amp. Is there any connotation to the diesel amps there, or what was the idea behind?
Yes, it's kind of connected with the diesel amps. It's not exactly a diesel preamp. It has our own character. It's more like Mesa Boogie kind of sounding style. But all of our pedals have song names, and it felt perfect. I mean, it's I thought it was a very good name. In fact, when I first met one of my current partners, Jesus, he told me that he wanted to enter the company because he just fell in love with the concept around the gasoline pedal. It was like very high gain amplifier and all the flames below and stuff. And he redesigned it. In fact, the first ones were pretty much uglier than this, but the essence was there.
Okay, so to carry on with the website, the website is thermion.eu, and then you'll find a nice description of all the pedals, and also something that is in the pipeline, from what I understand, the Zero, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and also you do some tube amplifiers, which I've looked at some of the videos. It looks like a really kind of versatile amp. You can pretty much get any sound out of it. And at the bottom, which is very important to me, is links to Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram, Google Plus, and a YouTube channel. Do people still use Google Plus? I don't think.
I think if they enter the Google Plus, maybe they will see a post from a couple of years
now. Yeah, so, like mine, yeah.
I think we should remove it. It's a heads up for, hey, remove your Google Plus account. I think nobody's using it.
Okay, so and then obviously also we have a fairly active YouTube channel, Instagram, and this is your Kickstarter page, which you're more than welcome, once we get to explain to people what you're trying to do here. We'll
Sure.
get to that again. All these links, if you have the time at some point, maybe put all this together in a wee piece of text, and I'll add it to the description of the video. And then obviously also a Facebook page. No, this is good because there's a lot of people who just don't have the presence, you know, online. It's very difficult to find anything, and then their websites are outdated and so on. So it's always nice to find everything that you want from people, from bands, from builders, etc. It's nice to have a complete picture. So what I'm going to do then is we'll go straight into, I'll ask you the first question, and while we're doing that, I'll quickly start plugging this on Twitter as well. So question 1, easy to answer. When did you start? When did you start the company?
It was as a tech service. I've been servicing amplifiers from in the first moments, obviously from my friends and from my family, since 2012. It's 8 years now.
So from my
And at first we started like a very small tech service, just working for a local shop here in Albacete, the place where we are based in Spain. And
friends and
it was quite an adventure. It started like out of nowhere. One day, just I went to that local shop. They had a completely disassembled Marshall amplifier, JCM 2205. Yeah, the 50 watts and 2-channel version. And they were like freaking out. What can I do with this amplifier? It doesn't sound, and all the techs in the area don't know what to do. And I just stepped in. I'm an electronics engineer, and I was like, "Hey, those are just the cathode resistors that are blown." And they looked at me like, "What have you said?" And I said, "Yeah, check it out, and check it here, and replace this." And I made it work like with a couple components they had there, and they were like, "Yeah, please service the amplifier for us." And so far, we've come all this way.
It's funny how a lot of companies just start like that. There's not like this mission from a long time. It's like something happens, somebody says something, people meet. You know, it's funny how that happens. So that's when did you start? That's kind of also how you started, isn't it? Because that's question number. That's actually when, how, and why you started.
Yeah.
Do you have a deep kind of affection and love for electronics?
Yes, I have. I'm the kind of guy that has everything in his house designed for himself and for his car. I have like a couple boards here that stuff I built for my car. And
Okay.
so it's a Thermion, but it's not an audio board. It's like a relay board for switching fans in my car. And I really love electronics. I'm really into it. I've been many years designing for companies, not only audio designs that I do for some people that ask me like some things that they need to design for audio, but also for general purpose electronics.
I see. Okay. Then we shall go to the next one. Okay, so you already said this to me, but where are you based exactly?
We're based in Albacete, in Spain. We're in a tiny mid-sized city in Spain. It's in between Madrid and Alicante, Valencia. It's in the midpoint. The typical thing we say from here is that is the place where Don Quixote was from.
Oh, right.
Cervantes novel. And it's like 200,000 inhabitants town. It's not big, it's not small, kind of in the middle. Also in the middle of nowhere.
Are you in one of those towns that are like perpetually warm, or do you have a winter?
the area around Albacete, like some kilometers around, it's like a desert. So we get extremely cold and extremely hot temperatures here. In the coldest winter in Albacete was in 1984, was minus 17 degrees, no, minus 24 degrees Celsius. Oh, sorry, I don't get on with the Fahrenheit temperatures, but it's like extremely cold in winters. It always reaches like negative Celsius temperatures, and
Mhm.
in summer it's like 50, 45 degrees. Not very temperature friendly.
Wow. Okay. So you have all four seasons properly then, at least.
Yeah, there's some kind of joke that we say that we have well, in Spanish, station and season is the same word. For season, spring, and station, like the train station. We say that we have four: one summer, winter, the train station, and the bus station. It's like there are no spring and no autumn. It like
All right.
goes straight from extremely cold and then extremely hot.
Have you ever been in Scotland?
No, no, not so far.
Because we have the same here with our seasons. It's just entirely different. We have a saying here which is, the last summer was really nice. It was last Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah,
The rest
yeah.
of the time it's cold and raining
It
and
happens.
awful. You know what I mean? Okay. What is your best-selling pedal?
Gasoline.
The
And
gasoline.
I think that it will be for a lot of time. It's obviously the first two designs I made, and I made them almost for myself. It's been almost the same for the last one, which is Zero, but that's something we'll talk about later. Were Gasoline and Spitfire. Obviously, were the pedal and the amplifier I would have always loved to play when I was 15 years old. It was like
Mm,
I'm a big, well, I'm a big music fan. I play in a band, and it was like the perfect amp I needed for myself for the kind of tone I like, and also for the high gain guy inside me that loves the amplifiers with a lot of gain. That's where Gasoline comes into play.
what's your favorite pedal to build?
To build, I think it's Outlaw, but there's a reason behind that. Outlaw is the last pedal we released, and all the engineering and building and all the stuff I learned through the years has been put into Outlaw, and with thousands of hours of building pedals and simplifying every step that I can make and making everything like fit perfectly inside the box, so I don't need to spend a lot of time in each step. And it's a very tiny package. Everything is very, very simple inside, and very, it's not that it's my own pedal, but very well constructed, very well built.
Mhm.
And that's why it's my favorite pedal to build, because it's really fast and really, really pleasing. Not
So
the same with Gasoline, which is the best selling, but it's very slow to sell to build.
do you build them all yourselves? Or?
Yeah, I do. Not every step, because, for example, like powder coating and stuff, we do it in with companies around the area here in Albacete,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
we sometimes have a guy helping us building the stuff, and sometimes one of my partners comes and helps me with the packaging, but I do all the electronics.
Okay. Uh, Now, all right. I'm gonna jump two questions ahead and come back to this because I know there's stuff in the pipeline. So you said you are in a band. What's your kind of genre? What's your go-to kind of music to listen to and to play?
Right now, because I'm getting old, I'm really eclectic. I listen to, obviously, inside the rock genre, all kinds of rock music. I've been really into progressive rock. I've been really into. Obviously, I started in a really heavy metal band, progressive metal and stuff. I used to be a good guitar player. Now I'm more a better pedal builder, and and but I think that the great influence for my style is my current band. I play in a stoner hard rock band. We're named Blackjack, and it's a very current band name. I mean, everybody is named Blackjack up there.
Well, when you do the wee write up, put a link into the band for us as well.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
you will find the typical inactive website and inactive networks.
Well, what I find interesting, the older I'm getting, the heavier I like my music. I've always liked heavy metal, all kinds of metal, and also hard rock and everything. But I'm liking more and more heavier and heavier music, not necessarily faster music. So I'm also going down the road of doom and sludge and stoner as time progresses. And I've just also started to put a series together of doing like band kind of rig rundowns, right? Kind of like, but from bands that are kind of self-made. So they do everything themselves. So independent bands. I'm not talking about, Joe Satriani with his $1 million rig and his 50 people and guitar techs and stuff, but actually like real folk who buy their own pedals and put stuff together and sometimes even record the albums themselves, because I find it really interesting how they achieve certain stuff and how hard some bands work and how much time and effort they put into this sort of thing to try and get a good product out. And thankfully today it's possible. Home recording is something that you can do it at a very high quality. So that's why I'm always interested if I see a new band, especially in this genre. They seem to be quite hardworking and quite gear orientated, not for the sake of the gear, but for the sake of trying to achieve
the tone.
The tone, yeah. So it's not just the blind, I'd like to buy gazillion pedals, but because they're usually also quite poor, so they have to make really good decisions. Okay, I need to buy this and this. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. so if you do, put a link in so we can see what's going on there. Okay, so well, we know now roughly that you were in a band and roughly your genre. So what's in the pipeline? We've already touched on the what's it called again? Sorry, I've clicked away on something here. Where is it now? The zero.
The amplifier.
The camera can see everything. Do you want to talk about that? You're more than welcome to share your screen if you have.
Sure. I think
nothing. Yeah.
I will start talking a little. I have a prototype here, and
okay.
I'm going to start speaking with the zero prototype here, because I've been experiencing like kind of slow connection when I was sharing the screen, and I don't want to have everything like fall down. Well, this is the guy that we have released today on Kickstarter. It's the Thermion Zero. When I talk the gasoline and Spitfire were like my personal preference releases, it's been the same for this amplifier. This is a complete amplifier in a box, in a very compact box. It weighs around 2 kilos. I don't remember it in pounds, sorry. And this has a complete 2 times 40 watts power amp, a clean analog preamp, a reverb with 3 modes, It's very, very pedal friendly, and it has all kind of direct outputs, so you can plug mostly anywhere in that you go playing with your pedal board. The idea behind this invention is just to put it on your pedal board. You just lay your Thermion Zero besides your Strymon pedals or your fast pedals or your any kind of pedal, because you can even integrate your own preamps, because you can switch between each internal preamp in your own, and pretty much you're set up to play anywhere around the world. You get like universal mains, and it's a Fenderish kind of amplifier. I mean, the one that takes pedals very well. And we're live on Kickstarter. We are doing like reduced prices for the release, and it's very a very good first day. I hope that tomorrow it stays the same.
So, is it a full amp? Does it
Yeah.
can it run speaker sets? What wattage does it put out?
40 watts each output. It has two outputs, and it's 40 watt each.
And I'm assuming it's kind of like a, well, what I read was that it's a solid state power amp, but it has a kind of like a valve emulation.
Yeah, the obviously, I think most players in the world want to play a tube amplifier, or to sound like a tube amplifier. The way we've gone with the Thermion Zero is that we've built a Class D amplifier, which is like the lightest, most modern kind of power amp. But we've done all the developing for ourselves. So most power amps, portable power amps around, are based on hi-fi technology, and this has our own technology. In fact, that's why it has a standby that you should use definitely. It has kind of a transformer inside. It's not necessarily a transformer because it wouldn't work with Class D. It's a different approach, but you definitely should use the standby, because it reacts like if it had an output transformer, and brings all the harmonics and all the essence of the tubes.
So it's not like the PV trans tube, which has like from what I understand, a circuit built in to try and do the sag and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of achieved in a different way.
I think every builder has his own approach, and first of all, I think that despite how hard we ever try, we will just get like 99.9 closer to the tube sound, because tubes are unique. You can't just sound like tubes without tubes, but you can get very close.
It's the randomness of tubes that are lacking in tube emulation. Yeah. I don't need a tube power amp. It just doesn't. I've never really felt that that's necessary. I like to get everything from my preamp and then just tell the power amp to go and make it louder. I'm easy to please. Okay. And so again, if you just add that to the description as well, a link to the Kickstarter page. I just wanted to see if there's like an idea of what kind of cost is this going to be roughly? Do you know that yet?
For the Kickstarter?
No, for when the Zero is up and running and going to be sold, do you have any idea yet roughly what you're going to be charging?
Yeah, roughly 600 euros is the target price we have. It's like target price is a so complicated concept in electronics. It's like we want it to cost that, and we will make our best to do that price, but at the same time to keep building everything here in our workshop, and to have like Spanish dealers for all the services we need, like the powder coating and screen printing.
Yeah.
600 euros is the number.
And it looks like it's going all right. Am I right? Or no? I see. We still need to promote this.
Yeah. We of course we still need to promote this. I don't want to say that this is done or that everything is sold. It is not, absolutely. We've had a very good first day. We've made like 42% of the goal for the Kickstarter. That was a blast. We have been even added to the Kickstarter favorite projects, so it also boosted the project even more. But yeah, we still need to work. We still need to share the ideas to make everyone that may like pedals and may like the concept to go play anywhere in the world just with his pedal boards, to maybe be able to plug anywhere, whether you find a speaker cabinet in a venue that you're playing, even you are just practicing with your headphones at home, late night practicing, or just want to plug into the mixing console because you find that there's no need to put a microphone in front of your cabinet.
Yeah.
We want everybody to read that may want zero to have one.
What, considering what you're trying to do here, what is your personal take on campers and axe effects and things like that? Because that seems to be the way everybody's going.
Yeah.
I can tell you from my point of view, I just see them as a easy to carry tool and to get roughly the kind of sound you want if you're playing live and maybe get, practice at home. Considering there's quite a few of these kind of proper smaller amps now out, which I just feel is so much a better idea, because you still have all the interactions of a proper amp, the playability and all that. And the thing, the more this is happening, the more I'm getting annoyed with digital emulations. I use Amplitude and for recording I use it, and I use it for a specific reason. Some of it is to put ideas down, some of it is to actually I can get really good sounds out of it if I want. But the one thing that always annoys me about the subject is that they always say this is the future, this is the future, this is the future. But then why the hell are they always trying to emulate stuff from the past if this is the future?
There's
and they're doing it badly as well. So what's the point? It's like,
there's something I always crack jokes about, that it's that nobody has ever said, I wish my two amps sounded like my camper. Probably nobody will.
No, they will never say that. But it's also that the one thing that's bothered me is that some of the companies like IK Multimedia who do Amplitude, I think some of the Axe Effect stuff, at least they go to the original builders and they get licenses, and the original creators get some sort of kickback, from what I understand. But like campers, it's like if I buy a camper now, for example, I can go to my local guitar store, and every day I walk in there, buy a cabinet, quickly emulate it, take it back to the shop within my return period, get the next one, never pay for them really, and suddenly end up with all these sounds. And one of the things that have always annoyed me is that people say, you can't copyright a tone, you can't copy. I find that ridiculous, because you have people like yourselves sitting there for hours designing circuits and having an idea in their head of what they want to achieve with their cab, with their speaker, how many windings and what kind of cart and what magnets, all that. And then, they just dismiss that and say, oh, no, a tone is a tone. You build your own tone, but you build it on the basis of something. You build it on the basis of what these people have created. So the longer this is happening, I don't have a problem with digital technology. That's not what I'm saying. I think my real issue is actually how people are ending up using that digital technology. And also it's becoming part of a throwaway culture. I'm just going to get 50 amps because I can load them up in my X effects. And so I don't even
Yeah.
try to get the best sound out of what I've got anymore either. It's just this buy. It's cheap. Who cares? Kind of attitude, and it's kind of like getting on top of me a little bit. It's like IKEA.
Yeah, it's like for the amplifiers.
It's
Yeah,
like
sure.
IKEA for the
I think that I have never thought of doing that with a Kemper, but you can actually do it. You can like copy anything that falls in your hands, but but I know many Kemper users that are giving up their Kempers because at first that was their point, was like, yeah, I can copy the tone of anything I want, or I can just download any plugin. And even some builders are selling their own like
patches.
models of the,
Yeah.
yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm using two of them or three of them. Because that's the only tone I need. I mean, and I don't feel like a guitar player. I feel like a collector. I mean, I have like thousands of tones that I play just once, or yeah, this rubber is spectacular and the simple response, but I play once and never play it anymore. So
Yeah.
the take we're getting with our creations, especially with Zero, is that we want to be the analog Kemper, and not saying that we want to convince the people that are in the digital world and love it and love like to have like 30 patches in their Kemper and use them all. I mean, they're fine with what they have, but the guitar player that really digs into its tone, that really wants to not to be just a collector, not to have like thousand tones, different tones, but just the one he wants. That's the ones he wants from their pedals, from their setup, their trusty setup. To have all the flexibility inside a portable amp, that you can just plug everything in there. And if someday you get tired of a pedal or you get a better one, just take that out and take the new one in. And and that's a little bit of the philosophy that I think that this year at the NAMM show, we were there. It's our second NAMM show. It's something that each musician should experience like once in a lifetime, to go to a NAMM show. And there was like four or five portable amplifiers. And I think the key with it is that people are starting to realize that we don't need this much. We don't just need good sounding and flexible stuff, but not unlimited stuff.
I agree. I like the synergy stuff. I like that idea because firstly, you can't just load tons of stuff on there. You'll run out of money very quickly. And
Sure.
but more importantly, the builders, the amp builders, have a complete hand in it. They are the ones who supply the circuitry and all that, and so there's a kickback to the people who've originally have a vested interest and also some intellectual property behind it, which I think is, to me, I can deal with that. I can deal with that completely. But I personally have gone to a situation where I think another thing that the digital revolution has brought us is a problem with the main reason why you're buying an amp in the first place is to make music. You want to make music, you want to play guitar and all that kind of stuff. And the more you buy pedals and the more patches and shit that you accumulate, you are messing with toys rather than thinking about arrangement and tonality and the interaction of different instruments. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
keep it simple, have a good tone, run with it. You said it, and there's a one of my favorite memes is the one where they say something like, the hundreds of thousands of people at Woodstock were horrified at Jimi Hendrix's tone because his pedals weren't through bypass. It's one of my favorite. It completely like explains everything in one little bit. Like it's perfect. Anyway, yeah, I actually run a really simple setup at home. I have an Epiphone 1960 tribute, like a Gibson tribute. It's really nice humbuckers in it. Really love the sound. I have one of those wee Joyo, the orange clone.
Oh, the American sound, really?
No, the Joyo. The wee. No, not no. I had one of them. No. The wee amps. It's got like a wee preamp valve.
Yeah.
They're like a 20 watts. I think it's called what's it called? The band amp. It's basically
Oh yeah, the Bantam. Yeah, I know.
a basic sounds like an orange, but it doesn't sound like an orange. It doesn't sound like an orange. It's in that direction, and I don't mind that because it's not a copy. You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to buy this cheap thing, and now I have the expensive thing. It's like it does something that is roughly the same in that direction, and that's that. But that and a good speaker and some nice pedals, and honestly, I've recorded with it. I couldn't be happy with the tone, and because of I lost my there was a problem with my studio where I rented. They sold the place, and I had to like move out and stuff. And I've not found a new place to set up a studio yet. All my amps are in storage, so I've been using this in the house now for the last 6 months or more. I am happy with it. I could easily gig with 2 of those because I try and run a stereo setup. But that's why I'm kind of like harping on the Zero, because that's the kind of thing I like. I want to bring my tone to, hold on, just a second. My kids are screaming.
Yeah, probably you heard also my cats and stuff around. They've been like fighting around here.
Lockdown blues, man.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be in bed. Don't have children. They're trying to kill each other upstairs. I don't know what about. I actually don't care. Anyway, sorry about that. That's also why I like the synergy idea and stuff like that, because you could nearly bring everything except from a cab in a small contained box, but you still have a true analog amp. And that's why I was quite interested when you mentioned the Zero, because these are the kind of things that I really feel are useful for where we're going. To me, this is when they talk about the future. To me, this is the future. Something that is true and brings out good tones, but is still compact. And you can easily kind of shift it from here to there, And nowadays, with the way that clubs are set up, nobody really wants you to bring in a 150 Mesa or Marshall stack anyway, because they'll just go, oh my God.
Stack,
Or you've got to like turn it all the way down or attenuate the speaker. So, 20 watts, 30 watts, 40 watts is more than good enough nowadays, especially if you've got line outs and stuff. So to me, these things are ideal. I am finished with any questions. I think this was great. If you have anything additional that you wish to add, please do so. And also, before we go anything like that, just remember that the more stuff you can send me, the more I can put on the website and more I can put into the description, and we can make sure that the message gets out there.
Sure, I will send you a ton of stuff. We have a lot of materials here, out of a lot of content. I think it's been very good. We've talked about many things. We've like talked about tone, about our feelings of the industry, where tone is going. Just if you like our intake for our input for the amplifiers, if you like the analog tones, if you still feel like you need something portable, you need something that fits your pedal board, something that makes it an analog camper, as we were talking. Maybe this guy's for you in the good way, not to copy any tone because you just can't copy, but you get all the flexibility. Just give us a look on Kickstarter or in any of our social networks. We have everything up and running all day. And that's it pretty much. Thank you very much, Helmut, for having us.
I'm sorry. I am going to ask you two more questions,
Sure.
because I was just looking at the specs of the Zero. 2 times 40 watts. Now I know there's a huge difference between solid state and having power tube wattages.
Mm-hmm.
How does the volume compare to, let's say, a 50 watt valve combo? Do you get to that rough ballpark with the Zero?
Reason why even though we are using Class D, which is a very modern technology, our Class D doesn't have the same performance. I mean, there are crazy Class D amplifiers out there, like 700 watts or 800 watts or 500 watts. This amplifier Zero is not about getting 700 watts, but due to our technology, which has less performance but more harmonics, it's 40 watts, but it's really loud. I mean, definitely loud, like a tube amplifier would be. Like if you plug I mean, it sounds louder than a deluxe reverb, which is 20 watt, 25 watts, and it's way much louder because it's twice the power. And we said, we say in our website that it's tube power because you really can push the power amp into that region that is breaking up, and it's getting that kind of transformer tube transformer sound. And it's very loud. I mean, it's not 40 watts like a hi-fi amplifier. It's like 40 watts guitar amplifier.
I understand. And so you say it's 2 times 40 watts. Can this be run stereo, or is it just that the speaker cables are split?
Everything depends on what you do. The reverb is stereo despite of what you do. But if you run the EFX loop, if you plug here in stereo, you get the shared stereo in the power outputs. You can do it mono or you can do it stereo.
And I see it automatically switches between the two voltages.
Yeah. The power has been something that we've been quite concerned that we want it to work anywhere in the world. And it's very well protected. If the power is too low, it automatically doesn't work. If it's too high, automatically doesn't work. So you just can't like burn it, connecting it in a random place. It's very safe to use it anywhere in the world. And that's it. It's universal mains, what we call universal mains.
Okay. Well, if there's anything from your side, please feel free to add, but I have run out of questions.
It's completely perfect. It's been a really nice evening. Thanks for having me here and Thermion talking about our tones, about the way we think that guitar should be, at least for us.
If you start coding, you'll soon be writing VSTs for guitars.
No, I am an electronics engineer. I hate programming. It's like something we have in our veins. The electronics is like, no, I don't want to code, please. Keep it analog.
I used to be a web designer, graphic designer, and I don't like sitting behind the computer anymore. So the further away I can get from it, the better. I've got other things I'd rather be doing, like walking around the hills or playing guitar or something, But anyway, so Jose, thank you very much. This was brilliant. I'm gonna end this broadcast then, and the more stuff you send me, the more we can support and send out. And maybe in a couple of days we'll have another wee chat about the shop and stuff like that, if that's all right.
Perfect. Sure.
Okay. Well, thanks again. Take care and have a good evening.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Ciao.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good evening.